Hello friends, in the previous video we learnt how we should go about applying the rule number 1 while deducing a definite conclusion out of two statements. Now in this video we will learn the rule number 2, which is the alignment, and we will also learn its application. Now the rule number 2 says that while applying the logical deduction method, we should always align the given statements or sentences in a proper way. Now what do we mean by aligning the given proposition or statement? You must have seen that a syllogism problem consists of two statements and the conclusions. The two given statements always have one common term. A common term is must here, otherwise no conclusion could be drawn out of two statements. Now by a properly aligned pair of statements, we mean that two statements should be written in such a way that the common term is the predicate of the first statement and the subject of the second one. Let's take an example here. Here are the two statements. Statement 1 is some lamps are books, and statement 2 is no book is a pen. Now you can clearly see here that the middle or the common term, which is book here, is the predicate in the first statement and the same class is the subject in the second statement. Hence we can say the statements are properly aligned. Now let's take another example. Here you are with two more statements. Statement 1 is some books are nerds, and statement 2 is all books are pens. Now you can clearly see that the predicate of the first statement is not the subject of the second statement. Hence these two statements are not properly aligned and do not pass the rule number 2. Now the question arises how we should align the statements. Friends, if the statements are not already aligned, we can align them by changing the order of the sentences or by converting one of the statements using the method of conversion or by applying both the approaches together. Let's understand this with some examples. Let's take two statements here. Statement 1 is all pens are jugs, and statement 2 is some books are pens. Now you can clearly see from the statements that the middle term, which is pens here, is being distributed in the first statement, but it is not properly aligned, as in the first statement it is in the subject part and in the second statement it is in the predicate part, while the case should have been the other way around. Now what we can do to align the statements in a proper way, we can change the order of the statements. Like, let's write down S2 first, which is some books are pens, and now we can write down the statement number 1 like this: all pens are jugs. Now after the rearrangement, you can see that the middle term, which is pens, gets into the predicate part of the first statement, which is actually the second statement, and it is in the subject part of the second statement, which is actually the first statement. Friends, for a hint, you can say that a proper alignment makes a Z kind of shape with the middle or the common term at the two ends of the diagonal, like this. Now the statements are properly aligned and hence they pass the rule number 2. Let's now take two more statements. Statement 1 is some pens are cops, and statement 2 is all pens are tops. Now you can observe that the middle term, which is pens here, is distributed in the statement 2 but is not properly aligned, as in both the statements it is in the subject parts. Therefore we cannot move ahead with the deduction method. What we can do here, we can convert the first statement with the help of method of conversion, and it will become like some cops are pens, and we can write down the statement number 2 as it is: all pens are tops. Now you can see that the middle term, which is pens here, gets into the predicate part of the first statement and it is in the subject part of the second statement, and hence the statements make a proper alignment. And you can also see that the alignment is in Z shape with middle term at both the ends of the diagonal. So after the rearrangement, the statement 1 and statement 2 pass both the rule number 1 and the rule number 2. Now let's take final set of examples. The statement 1 is all birds are crows, and the statement 2 is some birds are hens. Now again you can clearly see that the middle term, which is birds here, is distributed once in the statement 1 but is not properly aligned. Now what we can do here, we'll have to first convert the statement 2 with the help of method of conversion, and then we can change the order of these sentences and write the statement number 2 first, and it will be like some hens are birds. And now we can write the statement number 1 as it is all birds are crows. Now you can see that the middle term, which is birds here, is in the predicate part of the first statement, which is actually the second statement, and it is in the subject part of the second statement, which is actually the first statement. And after the alignment, the statements make a Z shape with the middle term at both the ends of the diagonal. So friends, after the rearrangement, you can see that the statements are in a proper alignment and they satisfy both the rule number 1 and the rule number 2. So friends, this is it. In the next video, we are going to learn the different combinations which we need to keep into consideration while applying the deduction method. So see you in the next video. Till then, keep learning and have a great time. Thank you very much.